Okay, so in a sales document, okay, yeah, what is the structure of a sales document? The structure of sales document is header, item, and schedule line. So that's what the schedule structure of a sales document. So yesterday whatever we discussed is header. That means the data whatever you configured or maintained at the header level is applicable to the total documents, total line items in the sales documents. So if you want something to be maintained or managed, okay, at the item level, if you want to control something or determine something, that you can do that through the item category controls. Through item category controls, you can control uh, just a minute. So through item categories you can control or configure in anything. At the item level, if you want to do something, you can do that at the what we call with the item categories. Okay, so we have different item categories. Open this actually. Yeah, so we have different item categories. Let me show you in the document. So it's a good, very big task for you to remember these item categories, and it's very important. There will be close to some 30 to 40 item categories which you have to remember, and that's mandatory. For sure you need to remember those all things. That means that item category tells what kind of material it is and what kind of process it is. That means if it's a third party, a different item category will be there. If it's a IPO, it's a different item category. Make to order, bomb, if it is consignments, like, so we'll have different item categories. Returns, we have a different item. Text item, we have different item categories. So item category controls, we can configure item categories through a transaction code VOV7, and this is the menu path which you can see under the sales and distributions, SPR sales and distributions. And if you see here, this is what yesterday we discussed about, that is VOV8, all the document types, right? And we also discussed about the document type controls, SD document category, so that what is a document, it's controlled by this. So that today what we are looking into is, that is item category. You see, this is one flow of a OTC, starting from the document types and ending with the billing. So item category, for every document type you will be having a different item category. So inquiry, AFN, quotation, AGN, order, TAN, rush order, TAN, cash sales, BVN. So you can control that particular item with this item categories. Text item, TATX, STO item, NLR, NLN, okay, IO, TAB, third party, TAS, make to order, TAK, variant, TSC, third party returns, TASG, text item, TATX, value item, TAW, service item, TAD. So like this 40 item categories we have, and you need to remember all these items. Okay, so let's see what are the controls we have in the item categories. So this you may not be remembering in a 1 or 2 days. It will take some time, don't worry. 1 week, at least 1 week you will take time for this to remember. Okay, it's not that easy for you to practice or remember immediately. Okay, but try to learn as early as possible. As I told you, take a printout of this particular one screen, and I'll anyways I'll do one thing. I have the screens individually. I'll share them. So take a printout and try to memorize or practice this all things. Okay, so let's go to item category. So this is the screen of an item category. Let me show you in the SAP system how the screen and controls. So VOV7 is a transaction code to access this particular item categories. And once you are in the here, the standard item category is TAN. Okay, TAN is a standard item category. That means the material what you sell to the customer, okay, that will have TAN. TAN is a standard item category which tells that the standard material which you sell to the customer. Okay, so this is TAN. The first field in the item category controls is item type. You see it's blank. But if I go to one another item category which is called as TATX, it's maintained as B. If I go to one another item category which is called as TAW, it is A. Okay, That means this item type tells that what kind of item it is. That means whether it is a item which you sell to customer, or it is a packing material, or it is a text item, or it is a value item. Okay, so this tells what kind of particular item it is. Okay, so if you go to TAN, this is the item what you tell to sell to the customer, right? So it is a standard, it doesn't have anything. Okay, but if I go to TATX, so how system knows TATX is a text item, how system knows TAW is a value item, that is through this particular example of a text item. So example of a text item is nothing but a user manual. When you buy a laptop, when you buy a fridge, when you buy a washing machine, some user manual will come, right? How to operate that machine. That's nothing but a text item. It's not only the text item, brochures. If you are infrastructure project, you are building some apartments, what they do for every apartment, they print a brochure, right? So any document which you give as a booklet to the customer is called as a text item. Okay, so that's a TATX item. Value item, what is a value item? See, sometimes in as a promotion or something in a business, what you do, you give coupons to the customers. So I hope you guys might be using credit card, you swipe credit card, so some companies might be giving you movie tickets, right? Do banks sell movie tickets? No, right? It's not their product. They sell only personal loans, home loans, and these things. But why they are giving that? That's a value item. That means it's not the product what they sell, but they give it to you as a honor, and those products have certain value. Okay, you need to redeem that value. That means go to the movie and you can redeem that. Okay, so that's a value item. So this item type field tells what kind of item that is. Okay, if it's a text item, it maintained as A or something, and value item it's B. So you need not to even go to the system also. In my document I have mentioned everything. What is a standard item, what is a text item, what is a value item, what is a packing item. Oh yeah, packing item. What is packing item? That means the material what you sell to customers is, suppose, a soft drink, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola comes in a bottle, that's called as package material. The material which used to pack your product is gas cylinder. These all are called as packing materials. Okay, so this is what all the item type field is all about. Okay, so value item, text item, packing item. So external packing item, that's what we are interested all about. Okay, so this is where your knowledge is. See, as I told you, it may not be happening in a what day or two. You cannot learn this all things. So first try to know what is item categories. TAW, value item. TX, text item, like this. First try to know what is item category for that particular item. Then you can know the fields. Okay, the next is business item. Okay, business item is nothing but, if you go to the standard, always try to be in the standard TAN. It is checked. What is business item is, you configured business. Okay, we have business data in the sales document. What is business data? Business data in the sales document, business data means nothing but the data or the fields whatever you maintained in sales, shipping, and billing. In the customer master we have these three tabs, right? Under this we have a lot of fields. The all data whatever you maintained in these three tabs is called as business data. It can be plant, it can be shipping condition, it can be Incoterms, it can be payment terms. These all fields are called as business data. Whether you want this data to read or to determine automatically into the sales document or not, that is controlled by whether user want to change the data at the item level, or you want to determine that or not, it's controlled by this particular business item. That means this field controls whether to change the business data at the item level or not. If you check, it will allow. If not check, it's not allow. Okay, so generally what happens is the business data at the item level will be disabled. You don't want to users to do that. Okay, and very important that the table for the business data is VBKD. Very important table, VBKD. Okay, so this is what the table for the business data. Then next is completion rule. Completion rule, and see, even this completion rule is applicable only for few item categories. It's not applicable for all item categories. So what item category is this completion rule applicable? If I go to AFN, inquiry, completion rule applicable. If I go to AGN, quotation, completion rule applicable. What else we have? G2N, no, GTN we don't have. We have for something else actually. Okay, so this completion rule tells the system that when a document is completed, that means, see, I created a inquiry for X material 100 quantity. With reference to inquiry, I created a quotation X material. I'm not creating with the full quantity 100. I'm just creating with the 50 quantity. Okay. The completion rule for quotation inquiry is the first reference. That means if actually I created an inquiry with 100 quantity, but later I created a quotation with reference to this inquiry only for 50 quantity. That means system will not allow you again to create a quotation for another 50 quantity referring to this particular inquiry. It will not allow. Why? Because the completion rule AFN for inquiry is first reference. You refer for the first time, and what are the quantity you refer, that is final. That's it. Okay. System again will not allow you to create one more quotation with reference to already referred inquiry. Okay. Just okay. At the same time, if you take this scenario of order, okay, that means I created a quotation with X material 100 quantity. Then after I'm creating an order for X material, I referred first 30 quantity. Then again I referred order material 40 quantity, 40, that is 70. And again I referred an order and created X material 30 quantity. That means, sorry, when a quotation is completed is, when the full quantity is referred, then only a quotation will be. The completion rule of a quotation is the full quantity should be referred. Okay. Until that, this quotation will be shown the status as open. The status of the quotation will be open. But here, once you refer the quotation with an inquiry, the status will show as closed. Okay, it's an open. Okay, and after order, what you create? Delivery. If you okay, if you go to TAN, you see for AF, just now we cite, right? So we have a completion rule for AFN, we have a completion rule for AGN, but for TAN, that is sales order, we don't have a completion rule. Why we don't have a completion rule for TAN? Because this completion rule is applicable only between sales document to sales document. Okay. Suppose this is a quotation, this is a order. Both are sales document, it's applicable. But after an order, what you create? You create a delivery document. So delivery document is not a sales document. That's the reason in order you have an item category TAN. That's the reason in TAN the completion rule is blank, because after order you create a delivery document which is not a sales document. Okay. Completion rule is applicable between only sales document and sales document. You can see here completion rule is applicable only between sales document and sales document. Okay, that's the reason in the TAN we have completion rule blank. Okay, and completion rule applicable for AFN, AGN, KMN and WKN, that is quality contract and value contract. Why? Because contract, how you create a release order with reference to the existing contract. So when a quantity contract is applicable finished, when total quantity is referred, the target quantity, that means if you create a contract with 50,000 quantity, all the 50,000 quantity has to be referred, then only the status of this contract, this completion rule will be completed. That's what this particular completion rule is. Okay, and the next is schedule line allowed. Okay, schedule line allowed. This schedule line allowed is again applicable only for few item categories. Let me show you, just a moment. Hello. Yeah. Yeah, already I added you into that batch and I shared the link. Just check. Because I am not in the group of the no, I added you into that group and I shared the link. Okay. Just, okay, yeah. Yeah, you see TAN, schedule line is allowed. But if I go to TATX, this is blank. Okay, if I go to TAW, it might be there. Okay, it is there. You see the difference. So your knowledge depth should be until this. That means you should know by item category itself, you should identify what is activated, what is not activated, what is the value maintained, and these all things. Okay, that's what the knowledge depth you should have. Okay, so if I go to TAN, schedule line is active, but if I go to TATX, schedule line is blank. Because what is schedule line allowed means, if you check this field, then only in the sales document at the item level, a field called schedule line will be pop up into the sales document. If not, it will not be there. That means the field controls whether to determine a schedule line tab in the sales document at the line item or not. Tomorrow I'll show you what is the schedule line tab and these things. If we check, then only schedule line tab will be shown, and if we don't check, we do not have. In the standard, G2N, L2N, KMN, WKN, TATX doesn't have schedule lines. Why G2N doesn't have and L2N doesn't have? What is G2N and L2N? They are credit memo and debit memo. Okay, G2N doesn't have a schedule line and L2N doesn't have a schedule line. Why we don't have this both a schedule line? Because schedule line is nothing but all about delivery. Do we have delivery in credit memo and debit memo? We don't have. When we don't have delivery in the credit memo and debit memo, there is no point in determining a schedule line. That's the reason it's blank. Okay. Schedule line. And the next is what is the field? Special stock. Special stock we'll discuss later. The next is item, or else we'll discuss special stock. It will take anyway time. Okay, we'll just have another 5 minutes of session. I need to go somewhere by 8:30. Okay, so we'll have another 5-minute session and we'll close. So by the time we'll discuss these fields instead of special stock, it will take some time, but because I need to explain you the scenarios, make to order, IPO, and consignments. Okay, the next field is item relevant for delivery. If you go to TAN, this item relevant is blank. But if I go to TATX, text item, the item relevant is checked. You see, all the fields are blank for text item, but only this field is activated. That means, see, for the products, and if I go to G2N, anyway, no delivery, right? Yeah, there is no delivery in G2N, but only TATX is correct scenario to discuss. So what is this particular item relevant for delivery means? Text item. See, you buy a computer. Suppose you buy a laptop today. So you have taken a delivery of the laptop. Shopkeeper, will he say that I don't have user manual, you come tomorrow and collect? Will he say that? No. User manual is such a item, such a material that it should be delivered in compulsory with the main item. Main item is laptop. If you buy this, compulsory you should have the user manual. Along with that, in the back, in the package itself, never they will be giving user manual to handwrite. When you open the package box, you will find the user manual inside the box. That means this item is automatically relevant for delivery when you deliver this product. Okay, that's what this item relevant for delivery tells the system, that this item should be delivered only when you deliver the main item, so in combination with main item. That's what the item relevant for delivery. Okay, and the next is returns. REN. REN is the item category for returns. Okay, standard returns. If you see, returns is activated only for the return items. If you go to debit memo, L2N, not L2N, G2N, what is G2N? Yeah, G2N. G2N is the credit memo, right? Credit memo, you will have this activated. Or you go to consignment returns, KRN, you will have this activated. Or you go to NLR, NLR, STO, you have written. That means this returns is activated only for the return processes. And this returns field in the item category controls will have a relationship with the SD document category at the order level H. What is H? We discussed on the other day. H means at the document type level order, it is returns, right? So this item category, this return field will have a relationship with the sales document types in the controls. The field name is the document category, SD document category is H. Okay, that's what this control. Okay, so if you go to REN, then only you can see returns activated. If you go to TAN, the standard, you will not see these returns. Okay, so sometimes your customer may complain saying that my document is going in the negative. my document value is showing in negative. If that is the case, then for TAN this might be activated, and for REN this might be unchecked. That's the reason your document value is showing in the negative. Okay, so you check this, then for that particular item, weight and volume, this all things, whatever you maintain these fields in the material master will be determined automatically into the sales document if you activate this. Okay, and the next is, yesterday we have seen some fields like credit fields, right? That is automatic credit, simple credit check, something like we have seen fields. That means whatever you configured yesterday, it is applicable to the total document. Okay, it is applicable to the total document. If I have 10 line items, 10, 20, 30, 40, I have 4 line items in this particular document. If I activate credit at that point of say D automatic credit, it applicable to all the line items. But sometimes your customer will say that I have a very slow moving product which is very hard to sell in the market, so I don't want for that item to be credit active. That means system should not take the credit into consideration for that only one material. Why? Because anyhow I want to sell that item. So what you will do, you will uncheck this credit active for that particular item. This credit active for that item. In standard you will have this credit active, but for that particular item, as I told you, whatever you are configuring this particular item category is applicable only to that particular line item. So suppose if this is that slow moving item, suppose say Maruti A star car which nobody is interested to buy. So for this you will make this credit active check. You create a new item category like say ZTAN, and in ZTAN you will uncheck this. So whenever you enter a product called A star, a item category called as ZTAN will be determined, and in the ZTAN the credit active is checked, so that system will not block this order for credit. Okay, so that's what this credit active is all about. And the next field is determine cost. That means, see, what all you activate at the header level, again you can control at the item level, whether you want it or not, you can control it. Determine cost. What is the condition type for cost? Anyone? What is the condition type for cost? VPRS, right? VPRS is the condition type for cost. So where did you maintain the cost? In the material master. So that means with the help of condition type called VPRS, you will be getting the cost of the product into the sales document. When you will get this, when you activate this particular determine cost at the item level, then only cost for that material will come from the material master to the sales document. If not, it will not come. That means if you don't check this particular item determine cost in the item category level, then system will not determine this VPRS condition type into the sales document. You will not get cost into the sales document. Okay, we can also see this later when we come to the pricing. There is a routine which you will be attending to the VPRS condition type, which is a 4, which controls that whether you want, it checks actually whether in the item category the cost is activated or not. If this determining cost is activated, then only the system will get that particular what we call VPRS condition type into sales document. If not, it will not get into that. Okay, so we'll conclude the session today. As I told you, I need to move, so we'll catch back on Monday again. And by the time, I hope this is much more than enough for you to practice for this weekend. We have sales document type scenarios and these 4 fields. This itself will take time for you to understand and remember all the item categories and these fields. This is much more than enough as an exercise for you this weekend. Okay, so Monday we'll continue and we'll take all these fields and we'll finish discussing about item categories on Monday. Okay, so any questions for today? Anyone? Okay, hope so, no questions. We'll call it a day today, and okay, share the video. Yeah, sure, I'll share the videos. I hope yesterday I shared some videos. Okay, anyway, I'll share it today. So we'll catch back on Monday. So we'll conclude the session here. So happy weekend, everyone. Okay, what's this? Madhuri, you are asking something. Please show. You can speak out. Yeah, surely I'll show you commitment date on Monday. Okay, please remind me. If I don't, I remember that, but if not, you remember me. Okay, so rest all I will be discussing in depth in Monday. Okay, so let's call it a day today. Good night everyone and happy weekend. Bye bye.